Thank you, Látzco Hiarlach. Thank you, Minister, for presenting this vital legislation to the House. We've waited for it a long time. The gender pay cap is often criticised for being a blunt instrument. Our 14.4% pay gap doesn't mean that women are necessarily paid 14.4% less in like-for-like situations, although I know that that still happens. We actually already have the right to equal pay, but what we lack is transparency. The gender pay gap is the overall national percentage difference in average hourly pay for men and women. Women earn 14.4% less than men for every hour that they work on average. And that happens across their lives and across workforces and workplaces. It's more likely, they're more likely to work part-time, less likely to be in senior positions, far more likely to take on unpaid caring roles, whether they're caring forward in terms of their children, caring backwards in terms of their parents, or U-bending, which is both, which would reflect my life stage and most of my friends. Women are deeply impacted in the gender pay gap by their role in having children. By the leave that they take, they're more likely to fall out of the workplace, like I did, because of a lack of flexible work and trying to juggle everything. And of course, accessible and affordable childcare, and they're less likely to return. And sometimes women just want to spend time at home, and that is okay too. I will never regret the years that I spent at home with my children. They were the best years, and it's just a pity they don't remember it now. And of course, the unconscious bias. But COVID-19 did show us the pressure cooker that when we were under pressure, we have regressed, and that shows us the lack of progress that has been made. So while some criticise the gender pay gap for being a blunt instrument, and that it reflects a more complex situation, actually it shows us that this is a holistic instrument that requires a holistic response. It's the start of it, not the end. And this legislation will not solve the problem, but it shows where the problem lies in more detail, and it will provide badly needed data. It's really important that the information is transparent, that employees know how their organisation is performing, but that workers are protected from being identified, but that they're empowered to take action if they wish. It's great that the detail is being published under the ministerial guidelines to include the mean and the median gap in hourly pay, bonus pay, part-time of those who've received bonus pay and benefits in kind. The employee threshold is initially 250, and that is to reduce to 50, and that will be reviewed in 4 years. I would say that the countries that have made progress on this issue, like Iceland, it's 25, and Finland it's 30, and Sweden it's 10. So this is a trajectory that I would like us to be ambitious about. And I take Senator Clifford Lee's point on board. I think progressive companies should be taking this on board themselves. I also think it's very positive that the Irish Human Rights and Equality Commission will have the power to apply to the Circuit Court or the High Court for an order requiring a person to comply with the ministerial regulations, and that an individual employee can make a complaint to the WRC. So while I hugely welcome this legislation as part of our strategy to address equality and equality of opportunity, it does need to feature as a bigger framework for meaningful and transformative change that focuses not just on the problem but on the solutions. And I mean that both in terms of a national strategy, but also for the need for organisations themselves to produce their own action plans to address pay and career equity. We require change at every level of society, whether that be in homes, in workplaces, or our national policy. And employers can play a really key role in this. We need to democratise our workplaces still. We're not at that point. We've had 100 years of the workplaces, and the office hasn't cracked it for everybody. But we need affordable and accessible childcare. We need flexible workplaces for all. It needs to be a level playing field. There is an emphasis on remote at the moment, but remote is only one part of flexibility. For people who can't access remote, they can access other parts of flexibility. And I've mentioned Finland to you before as an exemplar. We need to democratise our own homes, sharing the care, valuing care. I agree with Senator O'Reilly's comments about tax individualisation. That's something that I'm very much still against. And this is ultimately about facilitating choice and increasing opportunities. I'll stop there. I could go on. Thank you.